Elon Musk or Donald J. Trump? Who is going to win? Aren't we witnessing some unprecedented times? Here is the most powerful person in the world, the leader of the free world, Mr. Donald J. Trump. And here you have the wealthiest person in the world, Elon Musk. And we're seeing such unpredicted drama playing out on the world stage. And sometimes we just ask ourselves, what is going on? Really? Is the richest man of the world, Mr. Elon Musk, going to win? Or is Mr. Donald J. Trump, the American president, the president of the free world, is he going to win? Well, the question is, win what exactly? We have been taught that everything we see, everything that we hear in life is a lesson to be learned. You and I are very far away from the White House. We really have no influence at all on what's happening in the Oval Office or in the White House. But yet, we are privy to see this battling out in the public eye, in the public arena. The world is watching and trying to figure out, as quickly as Elon Musk became besties, as they say in our generation, with our president, and how quickly did that turn off? How is that possible? How did you become so close and yet so distant and in no time? It almost reminds me of a teacher one time did a pop quiz in school and asked the children, how far is east from west? And that was the assignment, that was the pop quiz. So the children went ahead and they took a measuring tape and they went to the globe and they measured east to west and north to south, and they tried all the different type of measurements, trying to figure out the distance from right to left. How far is right from left? How far is east from west? And all the children came up with some kind of a mathematical answer. While the teacher said, you know how far east is from west? Is one turn. And this is what we have seen what happened in Washington with Elon Musk and Mr. Donald J. Trump, our president. It just took one turn. And you go 180 and you're on opposite sides of the polar. This is so true in real life. We all need to once in a while think about our association, our friendships, our commitments to each other. How deep are they? How real are they? Is our life in our day-to-day interaction with people transactional? Is that all what it is? Or is it possible to actually create deeper relationships that are real relationships, that run very deep into our souls, into our hearts, that we can connect with each other and be true friends? Can you actually ask yourself, how many true friends do I really have? And how do you define a true friend? Well, many people say, well, if he were to call me or she were to call me 2 o'clock in the morning, I'll jump up and do anything for them. Is that the definition of a true friend? Well, we have learned in the ethics of our fathers some very interesting lessons. It says any love that's dependent on something is not true love. Because if that something disappears and the love then disappears, then that is not considered true love. It's not unconditional love. Yet our sages tell us that it's important for everyone to acquire a friend. A friend is not something that you could just turn on and off. It's rather an investment. In Hebrew, the word friend is called chaver. Chaver means to bind, to connect with each other. When two people meet each other, they are not just meeting as a transactional occurrence, but rather it's heart to heart, soul to soul. The way we connect is by giving. There's no other way to connect with another person but to be ready to give of yourself. Not just giving of yourself means, but your time, your wisdom, your experience. Lend a shoulder to lean on. Be the ears to listen. Be sincere. Be honest. Be kind. Be generous. And it will come right back at you. Friendship is like a reflection. As once there was a non-Jew who came running to a rabbi who was a builder. He's a contractor. And as he was building his house, he was holding a ruler stick, a measuring stick, as we know as a yardstick. And he says, Rabbi, I want to convert to Judaism. Can you teach me Judaism in one sentence as I stand on one leg? He took his yardstick and says, get away, no way. And he just asked him to leave. He says, you can't teach Judaism with standing on one leg in one sentence. And then he went to another rabbi named as Hillel. And he asked him the exact same question. He says, Rabbi, I want to convert to Judaism. Can you teach me the whole Torah as I stand on one leg, basically in one sentence? Can you do that? And Hillel smiled and said, yes, I can do that. And he told him, this is Judaism. Don't do unto others what you don't want to be done to you. Love your fellow as yourself. He says, that's it. That's Judaism? He says, yes, that is Judaism. But what's about all other 612 commandments? He says, that's all commentary. But the fundamentals, the foundation of Judaism is love your fellow as yourself. And my rabbi added on to the words, love your fellow as an extension of yourself. And that is what true friendship is all about. I personally have spent 40 years building a congregation here in North San Diego in a city called rgpoway. My wife and I invested our whole life, our whole married life, into this congregation. And over the years, we have developed lots of friendships. But at the end of 40 years, we look back, we wonder, were they truly friends? Or were they friends because you were there for them and they felt they had to reciprocate? And then we went through some very difficult times. And when all of a sudden, those who we thought were our friends just disappeared, vanished. And we discussed that a lot and wonder, we invested so much of ourselves in others, but why wasn't it reciprocated? And I came to a very clear understanding that friendships needs to be totally altruistic without any expectations. Do good for others. Do what you're supposed to do for others. Expect nothing in return. Don't expect others to do what you did for them. Have no expectations, but rather it will become naturally. When you are sincere, when you are kind, when you are generous with others, they will reciprocate. And we look back after 40 years, we still have a very nice circle of friends who remained loyal to us and loyal through thick and thin, through fire and water. And we are grateful for that. And it didn't happen just by chance. It happened because we had no expectations. We were who we are. We gave and gave and gave as much as we could for ourselves. And those who are honest and who looked at friendships not as transactional, but rather as soul, as spiritual, they remain your loyal friends. So what's going to happen with Elon Musk and Donald Trump? Only God knows. And I'm not saying that as an expression, only God knows, but truly God knows. The hearts of the kings and the ministers are in the hands of God. God decides who are going to be the leaders of our countries, who are going to be the kings, the queens, the ministers, the prime ministers, the presidents, etc. And so when we see Elon Musk and Donald Trump going at each other, we just need to stand by and say, what are we going to learn from this? And what can we truly take away from it in a way that we can incorporate it in our own lives? And very clearly, we need to extend unconditional love to each other. The world needs now more love than anything else. And you can do that with your neighbor, with strangers who you never met, who you don't know. Be the one to reach out. Be the one to extend a hand, to give a hug, and to be kind and generous with your time, with your means, with your abilities in helping others. That is indeed, that is true, what it means to make this world a dwelling place for God. So we certainly hope that Donald Trump and Elon Musk, come on guys, make up, get together. We can only imagine the power of these two, what they could accomplish if they are on the same page and are laser focused on the same target. And obviously, if the whole relationship was just transactional and was dependent on something, and as soon as that thing disappeared, the friendship fell away, it's obvious the friendship wasn't a real, honest friendship. So our takeaway is, go ahead, make friends. Where do you make friends? At your congregation, at your house of prayer, in your city, in your town, in your village, at your home. Invite people to your home. Go out with others. Spread your wings. We know we're all busy. We all have a lot to do. That's why God gave us the Saturday. God gave us 24 hours from Friday night sunset till Saturday night nightfall to be able to connect with others, develop deep friendships, and truly be there for each other, because we truly need each other, not only in times of crisis. I know myself personally, when life was good for me, I had a lot of friends. And as soon as I went through some real rough periods, all of a sudden, hey, where did everyone run away to? It's easy to be a friend with someone when things are going great. But when things are not going well, that's when friendship really counts. I have people that every Friday call me just to check in with me and to wish me a good weekend. These are people who don't even live here anymore. But our friendships are deep, are real, are genuine. And those are friendships that are not dependent on anything. And they know that I can count on them, and they can count on me for anything, anywhere, and anytime. May God bring us better times and greater times. God bless you. God loves you.